What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. This is your weekly horoscope from September 21st through September 27th, 2020. So, what we are mainly going to be talking about today is all about Mercury. It's basically Mercury going into, kind of, I wouldn't say bad territory, but making some hard aspects to these guys in Capricorn and opposing Mars in Aries. So he's going through some rough territory right now. So one of the first things that's really going on the first couple days is Mercury making a square to Pluto in Capricorn. So Mercury squared Pluto. This transit will challenge your thinking, which can result from or lead to some crisis or experience with a darker side of humanity. There will also be an urge to dig deeper and investigate the matter of the truth. There's great potential to uncover secrets and mysteries which will deepen your understanding of your own psychology. Having an open mind will maintain a positive transformation of your communication skills. So, this could be a little powerful, people over power could, have that power over whatever you say, whatever you say to them, or because this is a tough angle right here. And Mercury, poor little Mercury is dealing with all these big guys right here, and these guys are saying, get out of here, Mercury. We got some more important things to dealing with. You might want to say all these things, but it's really not going the same way. So you just gotta kind of stay calm when dealing with any authority figure having power over whatever you say to them. So, or they might have more to say to you, which has more power over you. So that's something to look forward to. Not really, that's a good thing. I'm not trying to make that sound positive, but I'm just letting you guys know that's something to look after. So as we move on the next day, Mercury is basically still making that square to Pluto, but the one thing I want to say about this week is we have the Sun entering Libra. So that's probably, in my opinion, one of the best things that's going on this week. We have a change of energy with the Sun, getting out of Virgo season and stepping into the harmonious energy of Libra, the balanced energy, the carefree, just the relaxed and peaceful sign of Libra. Anyways, the Sun enters Libra. This influences us to reflect on where we may have imbalances in our lives. Libra represents the scales, influencing us to weigh things out. A strong need to create more balance for ourselves and to find more inner peace. It's a good time for reflection, journaling, acknowledging the areas we've been neglecting, as well as the areas we've been focusing on. Libra is a very meditating energy, so during this transit, you may be able to reach deeper states of, meditation. You might find more balance through meditation and bring more harmonious balance, justice, and connection to others. So that's one of the good things that's going on this week, because this week is pretty rough with all these hard angles with these cardinal signs, I would say. So that's going on the 22nd. That's when Libra season starts. Let's move on through Wednesday. So Mercury is also making a really hard aspect to Saturn right now. 25 degrees of Capricorn and 25 degrees of Libra. One thing I want to say before, which we'll talk about it later, when Mercury is at that 25 degrees of Libra, it enters its shadow period. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that in just a sec. Let's focus on what it's doing first. So Mercury is making that hard angle to Saturn. So this is basically the same thing, when I'm talking about with Mercury squaring Pluto, but Saturn represents the authority. Like he's the authority of astrology. He's like the one in charge, basically. So, Mercury squaring Saturn. This transit favors hard mental work. Probably better on your own. Communicating your plans and ideas will be difficult because of negative thinking and misunderstanding. When dealing with paperwork or any sorts of like studying, you want to read the details and read the fine print. Because if you miss it, you're not going to fully get everything, everything done. There's going to be one little mistake that breaks down the whole thing. So watch out for that. You want to be careful not to rely on the words others are telling you and whatever you say to others. You could say the wrong thing to dig yourself in some deep holes. This is a quick transit though, so you don't want to see the worst in anything you say to others or others say to you. So get rid of all that negative thinking, negative words out of your head if anybody tells you something you do not like. Because it's going to be tough. I mean, that's a hard angle right there. And you're dealing with Saturn. And you're dealing with Mercury. Our thought process. How we communicate. How we communicate to authority figures. They're in Capricorn. Capricorn is like, it deals with the law. It's like Capricorn is the authority, basically, of, the zodiacs, basically. But, we're not focusing on Capricorn. We're focusing on these three planets right here. Mercury's making hard aspects to all these guys. These guys, Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, have been changing the whole deal all year. We've been seeing it. It's been changing everybody's lives. It's been crazy. It's been a crazy year. But let's get back to what we were talking about. Like I just said, you really got to focus on what you're saying to others, or if you have to do something, like you have to do some work, and like, the authorities rely on you to do, to do this work. And if something isn't off, if there's like maybe a loose screw somewhere, and you tell them about it, you tell like this thing's coming down, like that's it, like you're done. they're gonna tear you up. So you wanna read the blueprints before you actually get this, get anything going. You wanna read the fine print before getting anything started, because it's like the authority has the power over you, over what you're saying, over what you're doing. So you wanna make sure you're getting everything right. So that's what's going on with that hard angle. It's very tough. So I'm just letting you guys know. Anyways, the next day, it's going to be making another hard angle. What a surprise. But this hard angle is opposing from Mars. So Mercury opposes Mars. This is going to bring some tension. This is going to bring a lot of tension. So Mercury opposes Mars. This transit is a sign of impending arguments and conflicts, as internalized anger and resentment escape through your words and thoughts. The obvious manifestation is being overly direct in speech, thus provoking hostile reactions. Thoughts and words have energy that cause things to happen. Patience and relaxation are the key when dealing with these transits. You'll want to think twice before dealing with any conflicts. Nervous tension may rise, so you'll want to stay calm. Doing yoga, exercising, or meditation are ways to lessen the risk of temper tantrums, I was trying to say. This transit has the potential to cause cuts, burns, bruises, so look out for any problems around you. So if anybody's, you're going to be opposing other people, by saying words and dealing with actions. But we are dealing with Mars. Mars is still in retrograde. Mars has been in retrograde for about a couple weeks so far. And we're redoing. We're rethinking. We're looking inside to channel these angers. That have to do with Mars, or channeling how we want to move forward. This is that square from Mars and Saturn. Pluto and Jupiter, if you want to put those two planets on top of it, but I'm mainly talking about Saturn and Mars. Mars is that go-getter. Mars is in the sign of Aries. Aries is impatient. Aries just wants to go, go, go. It doesn't want to stop for anything. It just wants to get it done and go for whatever. But Saturn's saying no. Saturn's like, now's not the right time. Saturn is holding that brake while Mars is trying to push that gas pedal. But Saturn's like, now's not the right time. We're still redoing all these things before we can move forward. But Mars is stuck. Mars is just like, okay, so I guess I'll just go backwards and redo some things before I can, take off. And that's what Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter are saying in Capricorn. They're saying we got to redo all these things before we move forward. We're gonna change the new normal. We're not gonna be living, the same way we've been living for many years. Things have been changing this year. Everybody's been seeing it. We're not done yet. We still have a few more months left, and things will start to lighten up. I would say, the next couple months after the new year. I would say yeah. So, next year might be a little better. I'm not going to say it's going to be the best, but it'll be, the restrictions will be a little lighter because Saturn and Jupiter will move into the sign of Aquarius. It's not going to be in the restricted sign of Capricorn anymore. It'll be different. It'll be a different energy. Saturn and Jupiter will make that conjunction in December on the winter solstice. And from then on out, things will be different. Things will lighten up. It'll feel different. It's just going to be different. We have to go through this process though first. Anyways, let's move on. So about the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like I was mentioning before, Mercury is entering its shadow period. So what does that mean? What does Mercury enter shadow mean? So Mercury starts its shadow period, at the end of Libra. It's still in Libra right now. It's about to move into Scorpio. It'll come back to this same spot, in about a couple months once it's done with its retrograde. And you basically retrace its steps, retrace its path, going through Libra and Scorpio. So it'll move through Scorpio, then slow down, and then stop, and then basically go backwards, which it's coming near the Earth, But from our perspective, and if you're looking at a chart like this, it looks like the planet's moving backwards, but it's not. It's just getting close to the Earth. Anyways, that's what we call a retrograde, when a planet looks like it's going backwards. Anyways, let's get on track. I'm getting off track. Anyways, okay, so the pre-shadow and post-shadow periods are like an orb of energy, which has the same effect, same kind of energy as when a planet is in retrograde. So what does it mean with Mercury is in retrograde? Well, let's think about what is Mercury. Mercury is about the way we think, the way we talk, and just how we process everything. When it's going through this post-retrograde and pre-retrograde, pre-shadow period, it focuses on, having miscommunications with others, having problems with technology, not paying attention to the details, and maybe wrong assumptions, and problems with transportation around, driving anywhere. So what you want to do during this time is to rethink anything and redo any errors that have been done. That's what going backwards is, basically reevaluating what path we just took. So we got to go backwards. We have to rethink everything. We have to redo everything that we've just already done to think better, to actually move forward. But we have to get through these retrograde periods to know, these to get to get past these retro. I keep going, further than that, but it's about slowing down and stop rushing through anything. Like what I said about with Mars. Mars is the planet of going. Mars is the planet of getting something done. It's going for it. It's how we do things. It's how we do things. So with Mars in retrograde, it's telling us to kind of slow down, rethink what we actually want to go do, and just redo it. We have to redo this before we can get started, so we can get going. So with Mercury going in retrograde, our thought process, we got to rethink, things that we've been already doing. So that's one thing to look out for when Mercury goes in retrograde. It goes retrograde like 3 times a year. So it's a very common retrograde to see during, any time. Anyways, let's move on. The next thing that's really going on is just Mercury going into Scorpio. I'm not really going to talk about all these other aspects. I'm just trying to focus on the main aspects with Mercury squaring to, Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, and opposing Mars, while Mars is still squaring Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter. So, we're still going to be dealing with this energy for the next couple months until Mercury and Mars go direct in November. But that's in November. And then we still have to deal with the post-shadow periods with both planets. So, the next thing we want to talk about is Mercury in Scorpio. So when Mercury goes into Scorpio, Mercury wants to get down to business, basically. That's all I can say. Mercury dives deep into the unknown to uncover what is hidden, basically. So when Mercury goes into Scorpio, it wants to get to the bottom of things. It wants to get, through conversations, through the work we do, or just to find what's hidden behind the scenes. Mercury is good at learning the source of the problem. When in Scorpio, the truth usually comes out. So that's basically, the main thing about Mercury going into Scorpio. It's still making this opposition to Mars. It's going to be dealing with that until it passes, the degrees, and then it'll come back. And I don't know if it's exactly going to oppose it. I think it'll oppose Mars again, but it's going to be like very close. So that's basically it for the week. It's mainly just about Mercury, I would just say. So what I would recommend is just to stay calm during this week. You're going to be dealing with some conflicts, or you might end up in some conflicts, but just kind of rethink what you're doing, reevaluate what you want to do if you're dealing with any conflicts or any authority figures, because this is a big week for dealing with authority figures and conflicts. So a lot of tension this week, but the bright thing is we're entering Libra season, which is a gift. So try to learn some balance. Try to balance some things out in your life. It's been so chaotic this whole year. So what I would recommend is just to find some balance in not to react if someone tells you something that you did something wrong or something. Just to stay focused and continue to doing your best. That's all I can say. So that's what I got for you guys. Stay calm, stay focused, find your balance this week. We have to get it. We have to get through this. So we'll see you next time. All right, see you later, guys.